HOA President Karen poured gasoline around my house and watched it burn. My disabled daughter trapped inside, that chemical choking stench, sharp, wrong, familiar, in a way that turned my stomach. Something I'd smelled only in war zones when villages burned, heat, smoke, flesh. Watch how I saved my daughter from a burning house. The full story is unbelievable. Tell me in comment where from you watching this video. I had just returned home from deployment 3 days early. I was supposed to surprise my daughter, Hannah. 22 years old? Disabled since childhood. Stronger than anyone ever gave her credit for. 7 months pregnant with my granddaughter, the child she already called Little Star. I had flowers in the passenger seat. A small stuffed bunny I bought during my layover. I imagined her smile. I imagined her waddling to the door. Irritated I didn't call first, but thrilled to see me. But then I saw a heavy column of black smoke rising from our street. Maple Grove Lane. My street. My home. My daughter. No, no, no. My hands shook on the wheel. I hit the gas so hard the tires screamed. The closer I got, the more the heat shimmered through the air. And then I saw it fully. My house. Burning, flames swallowing the white siding. Hannah. Love. Fire in every window. Fire climbing the roof. Fire roaring like an animal. I slammed the truck door open before it even stopped. Hannah! My throat tore. Neighbors stood outside, watching, filming, frozen. No one moved toward the house. Not one damn person. Why isn't anybody helping? I screamed, but no one answered. I didn't think. I couldn't. My daughter, my disabled baby girl, was inside. Pregnant, alone, I charged through the front door. A wall of heat hit me like a physical blow. I ducked low, military instinct kicking in. Smoke turned the air to ash. Embers rained from the ceiling. Hannah? I coughed. A weak sound came from upstairs. A cough, a whimper. Daughter. The staircase was half gone. Flames eating through the wood. I didn't care. I climbed, skin blistering, uniform burning. Every breath shredded my lungs. Hannah, baby, keep making noise. I rasped. Her voice was faint. Dad? I found her collapsed near the bedroom window, her crutch lying melted beside her. Her dress burned at the edges. Her belly, large and round, rose and fell too fast. Her beautiful face was gray with smoke. Tears carved streaks through the ash. When she saw me, she sobbed, Dad! It hurts. I've got you, sweetheart. I lifted her gently. She was too light, too limp. Something inside me broke. Carrying her down the stairs was hell. Fire everywhere. My skin boiling. Her body trembling, but I survived ambush in the Middle East. I survived things no one should survive. And nothing, not bullets, not fire, not hell itself, would take my daughter from me. I kicked through a window and jumped, twisting my body so she landed on me instead of the shards. Grass. Cool. Air. Double quote. Help! I roared. Call an ambulance. Finally, as if waking from a spell, neighbors started running. Shouting, dialing, I held Hannah's soot-covered face in my hands. Her breath rattled. Her eyes fluttered. Dad? Her voice was paper-thin. Karen did this. And she fainted. My blood turned. Cold. Karen Hutchinson. HOA President. The tyrant of Maple Grove, the woman who bullied my disabled daughter for months. Sirens wailed in the distance. I held Hannah's hand and whispered, I'm here, baby. Stay with me. Little Star needs you. I need you. But she didn't respond. The ambulance ride felt endless. Paramedics worked furiously. Her pregnancy is in distress. Hurry, her oxygen levels are dropping. We may lose them both. I had burns down my arms, glass in my back, smoke tearing through my lungs, but I refused treatment. Not until my daughter is safe. I growled. At the hospital, a nurse grabbed my arm. Double quote, sir, please. You'll collapse. I didn't care. Nothing mattered except Hannah. Doctors rushed her behind double doors, and a Navy SEAL who'd survived firefights in hell, stood helpless. 6 hours later, a surgeon came out. Mr. Carter? I stood so fast my vision blurred. Is my daughter alive? Is the baby... They're both alive, he said gently. I collapsed into a chair, shaking, tears burning down my ash-coated face, but the doctor's expression darkened. Hannah is in a medically induced coma. Severe smoke inhalation, burns, and her baby girl is extremely premature. 2 pounds. She's fighting, but the next 72 hours are critical. My heart cracked. My daughter. My granddaughter. Both fighting for their lives because of a monster. Detectives Rodriguez and Chun came the next morning. Your daughter said a name before losing consciousness. Chun said softly, Karen. I nodded once, cold, controlled, deadly calm. Tell us about her. Rodriguez said, so I did. I told them how Karen fined Hannah for having the wrong color. Mailbox. How she mocked Hannah's mobility issues. How she called her garden an eyesore for normal residents. How she left violation notices daily. How she threatened to fix the disabled problem in the neighborhood. And how Hannah, exhausted and pregnant, finally stood up to her. She said she'd make my daughter regret ever moving here. I finished. Rodriguez sighed heavily. Mr. Carter. The fire was arson. I already knew. Multiple ignition points. Accelerant gasoline. Security footage shows Karen's car circling your block before the fire, Chun added. We're taking her into custody. I leaned close, my voice low. You better lock her away forever. Because if she gets out, I won't. Days blurred. Hannah in the ICU pale. UNMOVNG. My granddaughter, barely the size of my hand, fighting for breath in the NICU. I split myself between them, took down insurgents. Baby girl, I whispered to the tiny infant. So you can damn well take down these odds. On day 6, the baby stabilized. On day 7, Hannah squeezed my hand, her eyes open, confused, terrified. Dad, is little Star? She's alive, I whispered. And she's a fighter. Just like you. She sobbed. I held her without touching her burns, then her expression changed, hardening. Dad, I saw Karen. She poured gasoline. Around the house? I tried to get out, but the door, the flames. Her voice broke. I had never felt such fury. Not even in war. She pay, I promised. Legally. Because my daughter needed me free, not behind bars. Detectives returned a week later. You need to hear this. Rodriguez said they had searched Karen's home. They found surveillance photos of Hannah, records of fabricated violations, financial documents showing embezzled HOA funds, insurance fraud, and worst, a diary in it. Karen wrote, disabled people drag down the neighborhood. She needs to learn her place. The fire will cleanse the street. Hannah trembled as she heard it. I gripped her hand. She wasn't alone anymore. Not ever again? 4 months later, Hannah testified, scars on her arms, crutch under her arm, courage in her voice. I begged her to stop, she told the jury. I was pregnant, disabled, alone, and she locked me inside my burning house. The courtroom went silent. Karen showed no remorse. No tears, just hatred. The jury took 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced her to 50 years. Hannah wept into my chest as Karen was dragged away screaming. Justice, finally. The HOA settled with us for $2.1 million. We bought a small home outside the city, quiet, peaceful, with ramps for Hannah and no foot away for miles. My granddaughter grew stronger every day. Hannah healed physically, emotionally, therapy, family, time. One afternoon, Hannah planted roses. Why roses? I asked. These are my victory roses, she said, smiling softly. Karen lost everything. I gained a life worth living. I hugged her, careful of her scars. Damn right you did. Years later, Hannah received a letter from prison. Karen was dying. She wanted forgiveness. Hannah burned the letter. She doesn't get anything from me, she said calmly. Not forgiveness. Not hate, nothing. She turned Karen's cruelty into something good, a scholarship fund for disabled children of veterans. Named after her daughter, Little Star Foundation, today. My granddaughter is 5 years old, loud, brilliant, unstoppable. Hannah still bears scars, but she never hides them. They're proof she survived the unimaginable. As she once told me, "Dad, she tried to destroy me. Instead, she made me unbreakable." I look at my daughter, my disabled warrior, and my chest swells with pride. Karen's legacy was hatred. Hannah's is hope. And in the end, hope always wins.